Charges against an Oregon swim teacher accused of groping students have now been dismissed. James Miker was charged with 3 counts of second-degree sexual assault of a child stemming from allegations that he groped children at the Oregon community pool back in 2022. A motion from the prosecution dismissed those charges. Miker was first tried in November of last year, but a jury deadlocked. A mistrial was declared, then went back on trial last month, but again the jury deadlocked and another mistrial was declared.
Madison police have ticketed 7 teenagers who officers say were fighting at a bus stop. Late last night, officers were called to the bus stop near East Washington Avenue and North Livingston Street. The teens told police they were play fighting at first. The group ranged in age from 14 to 17 years old. Those under 17 were cited for disorderly conduct with restorative justice referrals. One 17-year-old was given a disorderly conduct citation.
Well, we've seen some rain the past couple of days, but have those showers put any dent in our drought conditions?
Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is on the weather patio. Nice afternoon out there. Is there any improvement for areas near Illinois?
Unfortunately, no. And as I was mentioning yesterday, I was not feeling very optimistic for our friends down near the Illinois border. Here's that latest drought monitor. No change. Even that good soaking rain that areas from Darlington over to Janesville over to Elkhorn saw at this point last week didn't really do a whole lot. Now, we'll take all the drops that we can get in southern Wisconsin, and we do have some small rain chances in the forecast. That's another big part of our weather message tonight, is that our rainfall chances have decreased over the course of the next couple days. Nothing out there really on radar 3000 of significance in southern Wisconsin. We may see a pop-up shower or thunderstorm as we go into the evening and overnight hours. Not expecting severe weather. And coming up in Maine weather, I'll discuss a little bit more about this change. Where is the focus? Where are these showers and thunderstorms that we were forecasting days ago to be widespread? Where have they gone? But we do have more shower and storm chances in the forecast for all of southern Wisconsin. When we look at that 10-day forecast coming up in Maine weather, we'll talk about some good rain chances for the entire southern Wisconsin area, which includes areas near the Wisconsin-Illinois border, and that's coming up.
All right, Alex, thank you. You're taking a live look right now at Alliant Energy Center. And right now, the Dane County board members are taking a tour of the facility. Tonight, a master plan will be presented to the board to revamp the Alliant Energy Center. County exec Melissa Agard proposed using $300 million to improve the facility. Work could begin as early as next year and wrap up by 2027.
A busy day today at the state capitol as lawmakers debate critical funding for K-12 schools and income taxes.
Our political reporter Will Keneally is at the Capitol with more.
We're up here in the state capitol, and I want to take you inside this hearing room here. Now, normally this is where lawmakers would be meeting to debate the state budget, but Republicans that control this committee are still meeting behind closed doors. Now, they're expected to take up a slate of state agencies today, including K-12 education funding. Now, a critical piece of that is special education funding.
I am asking all of you today for 60% special education funding.
Advocates for special education funding in Wisconsin met at the state capitol to urge lawmakers on the legislature's powerful budget writing committee to approve more funding for special ed.
It will help more people like me to live their best life.
If lawmakers don't approve that funding increase, that could shift some of the costs onto school districts. They don't have a choice on whether to provide special education, and a member of Madison's school board says districts have to raise funds somehow.
Without this funding will continue to get worse. This gap will get worse, and students will not get what they need. And we're fighting to provide accommodations for every student. We'll still provide it on our own, but it means we go to referendum.
Now, again, we have not yet heard from Republican lawmakers who are still meeting behind closed doors, but we will continue to keep you updated about all the action happening here in the budget hearing room. But for now, reporting in the state capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul is supporting the effort to block President Trump from deploying the National Guard in California. Kaul filed an amicus brief alongside attorneys general from nearly 24 states. In the document, the attorneys general claim the president's actions undermine the rule of law and put the constitutional rights of Americans at risk.
There's a recall for a lawn care tool. TTI Outdoor Power Equipment has recalled roughly 113,000 of these hedge trimmers due to a laceration hazard. The recall covers the Ryobi 40-volt, 24-inch cordless hedge trimmers. You may have gotten one of these at Home Depot. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the blade can unexpectedly activate after the user presses just the safety or trigger control individually. There have been 27 reports now of the blade activating after pressing just one of those controls.
Mitsubishi is recalling nearly 200,000 vehicles due to an issue that could increase the risk of a crash. Mitsubishi said the rear view camera software was improperly programmed, and that could cause the camera to freeze or fail to display at all. The recall impacts 2022 to 2024 Mitsubishi Outlanders and 2023 to 25 Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrids. Dealers will update the software for free.
The shortage of summer lifeguards has become a problem really all across the country. Nationwide, communities big and small are working to fix the shortage. In Richmond, Virginia, for example, they're starting in public schools, teaching students of all backgrounds to swim, not just for safety, but also for future work.
We want to help kids enter the workforce, so we teach kids to swim in the elementary side, and then we follow them with a continuum of service through the middle school and high school years.
And get this, in New York City, pay has been boosted to at least $22 an hour for lifeguards with a $1,000 bonus, and the 40-hour training course is completely free just to lure candidates. After the break at 5, a California senator put in handcuffs at a Department of Homeland Security news conference.
And President Trump continues to clash with California as lawmakers struggle with changes to his budget bill.
And on Wall Street today, stocks move closer to record highs. The Dow jumps 102 points. The Nasdaq up more than 46. The S&P 500 gains 23. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is terminating the legal status of hundreds of thousands of migrants.
The agency is expected to email the termination notices. They'll be addressed to Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans who came to the U.S. through the Biden administration's humanitarian parole program. Work permits tied to that program will also be revoked.
The U.S. Senator was removed from the Homeland Security Secretary's news conference in Los Angeles today. Federal agents forcibly removed California U.S. Senator Alex Padilla from Secretary Kristi Noem's conference after he interrupted her. A spokesperson for Senator Padilla says he was handcuffed at one point but is not currently detained. Secretary Noem went to Los Angeles in support of the Marines and National Guard troops.
I'll have a conversation with him and visit and find out really what his concerns were. I think everybody in America would agree that that wasn't appropriate.
If this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers.
A hearing in federal court is scheduled for this afternoon in California's lawsuit against the Trump administration over its use of the National Guard and Marines.
And the president is clashing with California on other issues as well, moving to crush the state's effort to curb tailpipe emissions.
And he renewed his attacks on Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Erica Brown with the latest from the White House.
President Trump signed a measure Thursday to block California's rule phasing out the sale of gas-powered cars.
This horrible scheme would effectively abolish the internal combustion engine, which most people prefer.
The California rule was designed to force the move to electric vehicles. The state's attorney general says he'll challenge the measure, calling it a retaliation against California.
The federal government's actions are not only unlawful, they're irrational and wildly partisan. And they come at the direct expense of the health and the well-being of our people.
At the White House signing event, the president said inflation is under control, and he renewed his attacks on Jerome Powell, calling on the Federal Reserve chairman to cut interest rates.
We're going to spend $600 billion a year, $600 billion, because of one numbskull that sits here. I don't see enough reason to cut the rate.
President Trump is also calling on Congress, pressing the Senate to pass his tax and spending bill. He says it's one of the most important pieces of legislation ever. As Republican lawmakers wrestle with revisions, Democrats say the so-called Big Beautiful Bill will cripple the health care system.
It would rip away coverage from 16 million people. send healthcare costs for $22 million through the roof, cut 2 million jobs.
Opponents of the president are preparing to gather at rallies across the country this weekend as a counterpoint to Saturday's military parade in the nation's capital. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
And now to some breaking news out of Madison. You are taking a live look of a protest near the Beltline. I think this might be at the Seminole Highway overpass there along the Beltline.
Yeah, it looks like it. This is against the Trump administration's current ICE policies and in solidarity with the protests that are happening in Los Angeles. Similar demonstrations have been popping up around the country, and there is one scheduled in Madison for this weekend.
Well, next hit, 5 flights were suspended for a few hours at Boston's Logan Airport today after a JetBlue flight landing there rolled off the runway. Officials say JetBlue Flight 312 was arriving from O'Hare in Chicago and went onto the grass as it was turning off the runway just before noon. Passengers were bused to a terminal. There were no reports of any injuries. JetBlue and the FAA are now investigating.
Downpours in San Antonio, Texas turned deadly. Authorities say at least 4 people were killed and dozens of others were rescued after heavy rain and storms flooded roads across the city. Some had to be pulled from submerged cars to safety.
We pulled 8 people out of the water, and we still have a couple unaccounted for. Right now, we're just searching for the other people. We have no indication of where they're at.
The National Weather Service says San Antonio got more than 6 inches of rain since this morning, and that's more than the average rainfall for June and July combined there. The region could see potentially damaging wind gusts and hail as well as storms move through south central Texas.
There's still some chances for rain and some storms for us in the coming days.
Here's Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington with a look at what the Father's Day weekend is going to look like. Alex?
Hey, looking okay for Father's Day weekend. We're going to have a lot of dry time. That's the big change in our weather forecast. 81 for high on Saturday, 80 on Sunday. Light winds, just a tiny chance for a shower or a thunderstorm. Let me explain here. Radar 3000, there's nothing out there right now. A couple days ago, we were forecasting widespread precipitation, and with the precipitation we saw yesterday, not everybody saw it. Madison, maybe 2/10 to about a ½ inch, a little bit more to the west over Grant County, but again, our friends to the south, Janesville, 0, nothing, unfortunately, when they are dealing with those drought conditions. Why the change here? Well, the focus for the showers and storms have gone to the north and to the south of the area. We just were talking about San Antonio. That's the reason why we're sandwiched in the middle and not getting the shower and thunderstorm chances that we thought a couple days ago would be more widespread. Isolated rain chances will be key through Sunday, but better chances for us all as we go out into next week. And I have a treat to help me show you those better rain chances in just a moment. Future track showing here, again, the isolated nature, a pop-up shower storm. As quickly as they pop up, they go away. A lot of places are going to be dry as we go into Thursday night, into Friday. Look, there's the focus. If you look up above future track, it's up over central and northern Wisconsin. That's one part of the energy. The other part of the energy is to the south. And as we go into Friday night, maybe a couple of scattered thunderstorms getting a couple places wet as we go on into Friday evening. But from now through Sunday at approximately lunch, we're looking at a quarter, maybe a ½ inch at most, and it's a bit on the spotty side. Better chances to the north and west, and again, our friends to the south and east down towards Janesville. Not a good situation. Getting some very nice emails from those folks letting us know that they appreciate us talking about the drought conditions that still exist, because there are parts of the area that are not in drought and not experiencing drought, but areas along the Wisconsin-Illinois border still seeing moderate drought conditions, and they need those raindrops, and we do have better chances for rain in the forecast. Not in the short term, but as we head out into next week, we start to see increasing chances for showers and for thunderstorms, but with that is going to be warmer temperatures as well. I don't want to dismiss the air quality. Sauk Prairie, thanks, Ronnie, for sending us this photo here showing that red sky. Air quality is not good out there right now. You can scan that QR code just like Ronnie here if you want to send us your weather photos. It's a red sky because we have particulate matter in the atmosphere. Right now, our air quality conditions, this might be updating right now, is in the moderate category. But what we're expecting as we go over the course of the next couple days, we see a few periods of this smoke plume continuing to to move through the area, but you also see blue here from time to time. So we're going to see some hazy conditions, some smoky conditions over the next couple of days, and certainly keep an eye on the First One Weather app, and our First One Weather team will let you know if any additional air quality alerts are issued. Now, to help me out here with the 10-day forecast, I have a special treat. Meteorologist Clara and supporting meteorologist Quinlan are going to help us out here with a 10-day forecast. Clara, what is going to be our high temperature next Wednesday, right up here?
87.
87 degrees. It's pretty toasty, Claire, because the low the night before is going to be 67 here. But with temperatures in the 80s and lows in the 60s, Claire and Quinlan and southern Wisconsin, that's going to be the fuel for showers and thunderstorms, and those better chances for showers and thunderstorms, especially that areas down towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border needs. So let's come off this way so they can take our 10-day graphic full screen. Round of applause for our junior meteorologist, Clara, and supporting meteorologist Quinlan.
You're hired, guys.
I was going to say, did you tell them they're going to finish the newscast too from these chairs?
Are you guys ready?
Alex? Thank you, guys. Well, still to come at 5, the U.S. still seeing an uptick in measles cases, how doctors say you can protect yourself and your loved ones from diseases while traveling.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A concert, mall, airports, and on planes. These are the places where people in the U.S. have reportedly been exposed to measles.
And as you travel this summer, health officials are urging you to stay safe. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how to pack virus protection into your travel plans.
It's a highly contagious disease, easily spread through a cough or sneeze. Measles cases continue to climb in the U.S., prompting an advisory from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, warning of exposures during summer travel.
I think there are a number of viral infections that we need to be concerned about when traveling or just in the summertime.
Dr. Daniel Koritzkis with Brigham and Women's Hospital says the best protection against measles is vaccination. The CDC advises the virus can live for up to 2 hours in the air or on surfaces, and an infected person can spread measles up to 4 days before until 4 days after their rash starts. The measles vaccine is routinely given to children in 2 doses, one typically between 12 and 15 months, the other usually around 4 to 6 years old. But adults who haven't been vaccinated or are unsure of their vaccination history should also consider the vaccine.
In some circumstances, it might be appropriate for infants to get immunized even if they're younger than 15 months.
Other viral travel threats, norovirus. Koritzkis says hand hygiene can help protect against that virus. And there's still COVID-19. He says cases typically tick upwards during the summer.
If you are somebody who's 65 and older or have a medical condition that puts you at greater risk for severe COVID, and you're going to be in crowded situations, especially indoors, then you should seriously consider getting a COVID booster if you haven't already done so.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Alex will have a final check of the forecast when we come back.
Well, stay with us tonight at 6. National Guard troops are on the streets of Los Angeles, of course, but when was the last time they were deployed in Wisconsin, in Madison in particular? The answer and much more. That story coming up top of the hour, News 3 Now at 6.
Well, here's a question for you. Do you like ramen?
Sometimes, when I was in college.
How about you, Alex?
I'll eat it.
Do you like pickles?
I do like pickles.
Well, how about pickle-flavored ramen? Like, gross. Well, that's actually a thing now, believe it or not. Instant ramen makers Cup of Noodles is releasing a new dill pickle version, hoping to capitalize on the pickle trend. It is a big trend on social media.
The new product combines the flavors of the noodles with the tangy and sour taste of a pickle in a microwavable cup, of course. Cup Noodles Dill Pickle goes on sale for a limited time starting June 21st at select Walmart and Albertson stores. You can also get them online. I don't know about that.
I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. Maybe the more you read that, the more I kind of thought, maybe that's pretty good.
Probably try it. Many of us survived on ramen in the college. I don't know if I'd have survived if it had been pickle-flavored ramen. Alex is back. Final check of the forecast.
Final check is a couple of showers tonight, a couple of thunderstorms over the course of tonight, over the next few days. Widespread showers and thunderstorms, unfortunately, not expected at this point in time. But join us at 6. We'll talk about better rain chances for next week.
All right, coming up next, the CBS Evening News. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.
You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000 Plus. We'll see you at 6.